Following a decade of silence and stagnation since the release of Silent Hill Downpour in 2012, Konami officially announced the revival of the Silent Hill franchise in 2022. SilentHillF was introduced as the 8th mainline game in the series and quickly became a key pillar of Konami's new strategy to revitalize the franchise. Expectations are incredibly high for the game, as the franchise has always been praised for its psychological depth and unique atmosphere of horror, qualities that many fans felt had faded from the world of gaming in recent years. The game makes a bold and immediate statement by shifting its main setting from the fictional American town of Silent Hill to a rural Japanese town called Ebisugaoka in the 1960s. This move was a conscious choice by the developers. They felt the series had become overly westernized and wanted to reinforce a stronger Japanese identity. The core design philosophy of SilentHillF is built upon the concept of finding the terror in beauty, where something that is intensely beautiful and perfect becomes deeply unsettling and horrifying. This approach is not a simple creative decision, but a direct and corrective response to the perceived decline after the Team Silent era. Konami was well aware that previous entries, created by Western studios, such as Downpour and Homecoming, were criticized for straying from the original formula. Consequently, the new approach for SilentHillF is a fundamental strategic shift. By explicitly hiring a Japanese writer renowned for the Japanese horror genre, Higurashi, and returning to a Japanese setting, Konami is not just creating a game for fans, but experience that is, at its core, a product of Japanese creative sensibilities. The game introduces a new protagonist, a high school student named Hinako Shimizu, who is navigating a twisted, foggy version of her town. The creative team is a curated blend of returning veterans like composer Akira Yamaoka and new, acclaimed talent like writer Ryukishi07 and artist Kara. The goal of the game is to maintain the series' core themes of inner struggle and sin, but within a completely new cultural and atmospheric context. The selection of Ryukishi07, the acclaimed writer of the visual novel series When They Cry, is a critical creative choice. His work is known for blending juvenile humor with incredibly depressing moments, a style that could perfectly match the tonal shifts of Silent Hill. His focus on exploring a person's heart and mind aligns directly with the spirit of the series' psychological horror genre. This choice signals that Konami is seeking to bring back the core of the series' horror, which is not built on jump scares but on the deep internal turmoil of its characters. The game's musical direction is a conscious and fascinating collaboration. Akira Yamaoka, the veteran of the franchise, returns to compose the music for the Fog World, the game's real world. Meanwhile, Kinsuke, a game music veteran known for his work on the Dynasty Warriors series, is responsible for the Other World, which is referred to as the Dark Shrine in this game. Kinsuke stated that his music blend ancient Japanese court music with ambient echoes to convey the protagonist's agony, internal conflict, fear, and other emotions. This decision to have two composers for two different worlds is not just a stylistic choice but a reinforcement of a central theme in the gameplay and narrative. The distinct audio styles will likely serve as auditory cues, helping players psychologically differentiate between the relatively normal Fog World and the terrifying Dark Shrine. The classic Silent Hill formula often depicted the other world as a rusty, industrial, and grimy manifestation of a character's mind. The Dark Shrine and its ancient Japanese court music suggest a more formal, ritualistic, and perhaps even spiritually corrupted manifestation. This auditory and visual shift reflects the game's broader cultural departure and reinforces the terror and beauty theme. Artist Kara's role is to bring the game's disturbing visuals to life. The team has deliberately moved away from the blood smear, rusting scenery of previous games to create a distinct visual style. Monster designs in particular are crafted to combine Ryukishi07's vision with Kara's designs to create creatures that really infiltrate players' psyches. The released images of the game showcase a unique aesthetic that combines serene, natural beauty, like spider lilies, with grotesque, gothic body horror. The story centers on Hinako Shimizu, a high school student whose ordinary life is shattered by the sudden, pervasive fog in the town of Ebisagaka. The town is transformed into a horrifying nightmare filled with grotesque monsters and an infection of flowers. The narrative hints at themes of betrayal and identity, and the monsters may be people Hinako once knew. The game explicitly touches upon its mature themes, which are evident from its stark content warnings. The official website lists themes of gender discrimination, child abuse, bullying, drug-induced hallucinations, torture, and graphic violence. This is a sharp departure from the often veiled psychological themes of the original games. The decision to issue such a detailed and comprehensive content warning suggests that the game will not shy away from these dark and brutal topics. It is a creative statement, not just a legal formality. While the series has previously dealt with themes like child abuse and ritualistic violence, this official warning implies a new level of explicit and possibly controversial depiction. This positions SilentHillF to offer a more direct and perhaps even confrontational critique of its subject matter than previous games. The themes of Silent Hill appear to be rooted in a specific cultural and historical context, 1960s Japan, and as such, they feel more grounded and arguably more visceral. The use of flowers as a literal infection, not just a metaphor for a character's mental state, hints at the blending of psychological horror with physical, biological dread. This could be a new direction for the franchise, where the horror is both a psychological manifestation and a tangible, inescapable external threat. The symbolism of the Higanbana flowers, spider lilies, is central to the game. In Japanese culture, they are associated with death and the afterlife, said to guide spirits through the cycle of reincarnation. In the game, they are a physical manifestation of the horror, an infection that overtakes the town and its people. The presence of traditional Japanese no masks and the image of Hinako's face peeling away like a mask point to deeper themes of identity, deception, and the roles we play in life. The most contentious aspect of SilentHillF is its combat system. As a normal teenager, Hinako does not have access to firearms. Combat is entirely melee-based, utilizing tools like an iron pipe, knives, a scythe, and even a naginata. The developers have implemented a more action-oriented, Souls-like system with time dodges, counterattacks, and a focus attack system linked to a sanity meter. This has created a deep schism within the fan community. Some laud the move as a long-overdue update to the series' clunky and ineffectual combat. In contrast, others find the combat too arcadey and immersion-breaking, worrying that this focus on combat will undermine the horror and atmosphere of the game. Exploration in the game is more open than in the Silent Hill 2 remake, with a greater focus on navigating the town streets rather than just internal dungeons. The puzzles are deeply intertwined with the narrative and Japanese culture, requiring players to solve them based on characters' emotions and identity. This design makes every step in the game narratively meaningful. Fan reactions on platforms like Reddit are highly polarized. While the game's atmosphere and visuals are widely praised, the combat is a major point of concern. The controversy surrounding its initial and later corrected refused classification rating in Australia turned into free advertising for the game, as fans speculated that it was a sign of its brutal content. The Australian rating controversy, which was a technical glitch, is a perfect example of how online communities and media can turn a minor event into a powerful narrative. The game's initial non-classification led to a Streisand effect, with a perceived censorship made the game more desirable and cemented its reputation for being brutal and unflinching. The fact that the game is the first in the series to receive an 18+ rating in Japan and has a comprehensive list of content warnings shows that even without the Australian controversy, the game was always intended to be a mature, no-holds-barred experience. The controversy simply gave this fact global notoriety and was a fortuitous pre-release boost for Konami's hype machine. Silent Hill F represents a bold new direction for the franchise, one that is rooted in a distinctly Japanese aesthetic and sensibility. It promises to tackle mature and unsettling themes with an unflinching directness not previously seen in the series. The creative team is a careful mix of veterans and new voices, working together to create a cohesive vision. The game's success will ultimately hinge on a delicate balance. Can its psychological horror and thematic depth overcome the potential friction from its new, action-oriented combat system? Will its conscious change in setting and tone be welcomed as a revitalization or rejected as a betrayal of the franchise's core identity? Silent Hill F is not just a return, it's a reimagining. It is poised to be a new benchmark for the franchise, provided it can successfully navigate the gap between honoring a beloved legacy and forging a bold new path into a different kind of nightmare.